Hey, GBP roast, GBP roast. Sorry, you in danger. Right now, I got a flame here. This is GBP roast, GBP roast. On your Google business profile, it's about to go down. We roasting and reacting. We ain't come to play. 20 years in SEO. JP Lambo and Dre, bringing facts and guests. Oh yeah, we bring the dopeness. Welcome to the show. Hope your profile don't get roasted.
Oh, it's gonna be a
What's
not
up?
so friendly
What's up?
roast
Happy
today.
Hump Day, everyone. Welcome. What's up, Keith?
Someone
What's
is
up,
gonna
JP?
get burnt on the roast.
Oh, so Keith says he has some F-bombs coming.
Security
Roast.
surveillance is going down.
Oh
Like,
no!
we're gonna
Oh no!
set it
Oh
on
man, was that
fire.
you? Okay, guys. Today we have a few things that we'll be talking about. Like, since JP wasn't here on that 1 week about agencies, he's going to talk about like how not to get burned by an agency, and then Keith is going to bring it back onto moving objects. Using
and
moving
how to
objects.
shave. I seem
Oh,
to
there
be
you go.
a little bit too focused on,
Yeah,
just rolling out of
your hair's
bed.
getting
and like,
your hair's
hey,
getting a lot more higher
go.
than mine now.
do it here.
You got that
Go.
volume going on. All right, guys. So let's go ahead and get started here. I want to go ahead and pull in our very first reaction. Here we go.
So here's what you should do and an example. So let's say I'm searching for appliance repair in Dallas. I'll open up the top 5 results and I'll click on detailed SEO plugin. I'll hit copy and paste each outline in ChatGPT. Then I'll ask ChatGPT to create an ultimate outline using the most common keywords. So the H1s, H2s, H3s, and H4s, also FAQs. Then I'll have a ultimate outline to outrank and gain top position. And that's how you rank.
All right, couple things here. So
I wish it was that easy.
yeah. So first thing I want to talk about is his strategy. Just that strategy, and then also like what plugins do you guys actually use for like to help you with local SEO?
So there's a really cool ChatGPT plugin. It's called I think it's called Topical Authority for SEO.
Oh.
And it's really nice. All you have to do is just type in your main keyword or just your niche, and it'll give you content ideas with the meta descriptions and different topics that you can talk about. So if you're trying to kind of build your local authority or topical map, it's a good way to build that out. And then eventually you can have it even write all the articles for you however you want. We have a kind of a content layout that we actually input when we create the content that feeds into like helpful content update and things like that. But that's probably my favorite plugin.
One of the greatest dangers, if you just depend on the AI and GPT, is it's not really a true answer engine. It's not going to go look at keyword research or go look at entities. It's just going to try to assume and maybe even go look at other websites. And if those websites are doing stuff wrong, then guess what? You might be posting wrong things or even overstuffing. So it's theoretically it sounds cool, but will the tool, do you feel 100% confident that it's going to outlay exactly what you want? Probably not.
Got it. The tool, I mean, he used that plugin by Detailed. I'm curious, like, what do you use to pull your subheadings just for research? So when you do it live here on the show, I see you pull in the headings of a page. Are you using a certain plugin?
I use the tool that just is called SEO Meta in one click, which is just a Chrome extension, which just shows me, what the developer put on that site on the web design. But a lot of subheadings, many times what I always talk about on page are related entities, right? Okay, what are the semantics? If I'm going to be talking about a kitchen remodeling, I'm probably going to have to say cabinets. I have to say countertops, quartz, flooring, extra storage, right? It all goes hand in hand. And what does it do? It keeps that person on the page and keeps them scrolling to learn and read more.
Love it. Okay, guys, let's go ahead and check out our next reaction video. Coming right up.
Everyone talks about getting reviews for your Google business profile, but they don't talk about review velocity and how much of a major impact velocity has on your rankings. Review velocity is simply a calculation that gives you the average of how many reviews your competitors are getting every month for the last 3 months. So if your competitors are averaging 3 reviews a month, then the velocity is 3 a month. So what you want to do is you want to beat that number. And if you can beat that number consistently over time, it's going to have a huge impact on where you rank on Google Maps.
Huge? It'll give huge impact? Huge impact? Seriously?
I haven't heard about velocity before. I'm curious. What are your thoughts on this?
So there's a theory that as long as you're consistently getting reviews, that's what gives you the boost in maps rather than some of the content that's actually in the reviews. I mean, you guys have seen me. I've ranked in a couple agency listings recently with 0 reviews, number 1. And so I think the most important thing is that you are getting the reviews, not necessarily how often. Now, if you did like an event, for example, our local friend here, Don, who, we do our video, he has a video production company in Concord, California. Big shout out to Don. If we did an event there recently and we had 100 people show up and we say, hey, let us know how everything was, leave us a review. I mean, that's going to be pretty impactful and that's going to start building that out. But it's not like a numbers game where it's like, well, these guys got 5 reviews this month. Now I need to go get 6. Like it doesn't really work that way.
And how do you, what if your company just can't do 10 jobs in a week and the other guy does 100? Like, how do you beat that? I think the real number, which is the true engagement that comes to your GBP, and when Google can track if they really turn into a customer and then they leave a review, that's the discrepancy. It's not, let's just pound and get reviews, because eventually you're going to be doing fakey fake. You're going to be getting the girlfriend, the ex-girlfriend, the dog's girlfriend. Like, no. All you want to do is, if you can only serve 10 customers, try to get all 10. But Google knows, and it's just human. It's just not human possible to get everyone to leave you a review.
What are some signals that you can let Google know that it's an actual customer? Like you said, like Google knows that, they're actual customers.
Ask for photos.
Directions for sure. Interaction where they're taking photos and uploading. Someone might search the brand and then they might come back and search it again, right? The phone number, I want John's Plumbing phone, but maybe the first time you search, you were just searching for Dallas plumbers. It's things like that Google starts connecting the dots. And that's why, what do we always say? It's about the real signals and the real users interacting with your brand.
Yeah.
You think Google can actually track all that with the amount of searches? Like, they look, so, he looked at the phone number. He looked for the directions. He looked for this. They left the photo.
And I know this for a fact because I actually, when I was living in Chicago, I got a client that was about 45 miles away from where the job was.
Mm-hmm.
And they somehow they're like, I was just typing in a locksmith, near me or something like that, whatever it was. And I was pretty far away. And the fact is, what happened is Google knew that they were traveling within the area and they were close by. So when they got home, they did a search for locksmith, and everyone has an Android phone. It still tracks everything that's happening on Google Maps. So it was actually, my listing was actually able to pop up just because that customer was in that area. So everything, they're tracking you everywhere you go. That's why they have Google. That's why Google owns Android. They own Chrome. They have all of these things where the government's trying to come after them for personal data information. Chrome, they're recording your user sessions. They're recording your mouse movements, your eye movements. They record everything. So they're keeping track of all that data.
And it's really an accumulation of all these micro moments. And then they'll just be able to say, hey, wait a minute. How is it possible that someone was getting a lot of clicks and then we deliberately did a special test and we deranked you, but they still keep getting those clicks? The
Yeah.
CTR bot just got busted.
Oh, have you seen that before? Have you
Yep.
seen like people like they'll get deranked and then people would still use the bot? Then that's like, oh, that's a signal. You guys are using the bot.
Yeah, and then they're like, well, then you got to pay attention, or you're doing it wrong, or brand signals.
So I'm gonna say this with a grain of salt and very, very carefully. Don't do this to people, but there's actually a method of negative SEO where people would actually send fake traffic to sites to demote them while theirs goes above.
Ah, so pushing them down, kind of like almost like reputation management, but you're doing negative stuff to another
Yeah.
site. I mean, you want to do that to like negative sites or bad
Yeah,
sites.
if you're trying to build reputation,
shame.
but so we
I
think
know your
about
name.
SEO optimization. We're trying to rank our site up and beat everybody. Well, on the flip side, there is even methods where you can demote everybody while yours starts climbing up.
Yeah.
So
And they're
that's
like-
how like doing those types of tests are how you know that Google's tracking everything. They're tracking what type of user agents and things like that.
Got it. All right. Let's check out the last video here. There's no speech, just watch. There you go.
Click on that. Press that share. Embed map. Okay. Copy embed. Copy. Custom add HTML block on your website. Okay. Paste the embed code. Okay. Touch it again. You like touching things. 2 to 3 keywords before the embed frame.
So I haven't seen that. But people actually do that. Like,
Oh my gosh, that's a bunch of bullshit. You know it's bullshit. See, you just type in a couple keywords in the iframe.
Yeah.
Oh, that sounds great.
I mean, does it help? Does it help? I mean, you think? No, man. Keith,
I just love like how dramatic it was. We're like, where's this going? What's gonna happen? Oh my god.
Keith hasn't shaved for like 4 days and he's going on rampage right now. No, I mean, if it did work, it's again, any type you're doing an embed or sending traffic, it's going to give you a temporary signal. So unless you're keeping things up and going, but eventually types of things like that, Google's keeping track of all those embeds and everything. So you may see now if you're doing thousands of these on other sites and things like that, you may see some positive impact, but eventually it'll start getting pushed back down.
Just do what Lambo does. Just make a fake H1, right? Just keyword stuff that bitch, right? Like this deep, and just display none on the CSS, and you got it. That's all you need to do.
So I mean, isn't that the same thing? Because wasn't it if it's in between the iframe, you're still kind of hiding that keyword, right? I mean, but
yeah, but
yeah, it's embedding.
Google,
you're still embedding, but
is it really how powerful is Google really giving weight to it? And that's really the key, the weight, right? The weight of what they're trying to do.
Got it.
I would not do this.
But definitely, I love your Lambo's World tip. Putting that H1 and then hiding it in the CSS. There you go. I mean, if you're gonna do something.
By the way,
sneaky,
you can watch that from This Week in SEO with Dre. It's a show that happened back at Christmas time, I think it was.
Yeah. Check that out. Definitely check out. He goes into more detail on how to create that sneaky little keyword tip. All right. So there we go. Yeah, we have someone in the comment. Copy wiki page, display none done. Oh, wiki page. Oh, wiki does this? Wiki does display a lot of display nuns? I didn't know that. But...
Well, many websites do, and especially from a developer point of view, because they have to hide certain things that, remember, they don't want the human to see it. And it's not being devious. It's because the operation, in order for something to load, they have to have something, whether in nav or drop down. And so they just don't want to disrupt. It's part of the whole developer world of hiding things on pages.
Yeah, it's like I feel like it's also on branding, right? When people want to have that clean looking brand, they just kind of like hide things in accordions to make it nice and clean. But then at the same time, you are also adding some SEO value there when maybe you may not be realistically doing it on
Yeah,
and
but that's the
negatively.
thing too, is now we're having to optimize for bots and also optimize for users, right? Because Google's also tracking the conversion that's happening on the site. But a lot of our SEO work, we just want Google to see that. I don't want users to see all this random content, you know. But if I can hide that content and then get the conversion, then that's kind of a win-win.
Yeah, yeah, and you can definitely do it with other markup, right? If you watch a couple weeks ago, JP talks about markups, certain type of markups, not schema, because schema sucks according to JP. So make
does.
sure you look at the markup. I believe it was about a couple episodes ago. Really good stuff, and definitely start. I'm going to start testing out myself. So check that out. Let's get into, speaking of JP, let's go into JP's segments.
Yeah, we're going to play some G&Bs right now. How we do it.
All right. So you wanted to talk about a little bit about some agency stuff, right? And what to look
Yeah,
out.
just because I'm seeing this happening quite a bit. A lot of people are asking kind of generally, you know, how do I know? This actually, I got the topic today from a post that happened in Google SEO Mastermind Facebook group. And it says, how do you know or what company to trust in your SEO, assuming that all SEO companies are the same or we get the same results? So a lot of different answers here. A lot of people are talking about case studies, you know, different services, looking at their results, different questions that you ask here. And you'll see my response here. And this is probably my favorite thing. If they aren't at least ranking in the city that they're in themselves, I would stay away. You know, one thing that we really show is even myself, Dre, and Lambo, we all have our own agencies, but we're all ranking in our cities. If you type in certain keywords in whatever city that they're in, we're all going to be ranking number one.
Yep.
Or within the pack or on the first page, right? So that's the first thing that I always look at. I made just kind of some different bullet points here. We can kind of talk about some of these. One of them is transparent pricing. I hate the question, what's your budget? That's such a fucking bullshit cop out, in my opinion, of when people say, well, what's your budget?
Used
It's like,
car
well,
question
my budget is $5,000. Great. We're going to get you in at $4,997 today. It's like, come on. So you know what your rates are. You know what your amount of time that you put into this. You know what it takes, you know. So having very transparent pricing to me is one of the biggest things. A lot of times what's very helpful too is some agencies will give you like 3 different pricing structures. A lot of it's kind of based on, we have a basic plan that kind of at least gets you going if you don't really have a lot of money. But again, they're being transparent with those 3 packages. Actual results, no grid porn. So basically, I'm sure a lot of you guys have seen his little fancy little rank grid trackers where it shows greens and pins and red pins, and you know, those are cool to show, but those aren't transparent, and most of those tools are not accurate whatsoever. Again, they're kind of a tool to show roughly where you're at, but there's a lot of things that go behind that, such as user history. There's a lot of factors go into it, but a lot of that data is actually incorrect, and they're using bullshit data, unfortunately. Also, for us, since I focused on local, I always focused on the Google Business Profile. So I'm very transparent and kind of saying, hey, you know, these are things that we're going to work on. If an agency is not focusing on your brand, I don't care what type of SEO agency that, if they're not focusing on your brand, you need to stay away from them. It's marketing 101. It's SEO 101. Branding is one of the most important things. Month-to-month agreements. In my personal agency, I don't have any contract. Everything's month-to-month. Most of them have been with me for anywhere between 1.5 to 3 years. I have clients that have been with me for 3 to 4 years. I had an agency back in around pandemic time. I sold that agency, and I've actually have started over. This is my 3rd round now. And also too, the agency should also understand any type of risks that are involved. They should understand Google Business Profile, the policies, terms and conditions. They should know what types of things that they can edit in your Google Business Profile that will cause suspensions, you know, things to stay away from. And really, there's only maybe a few hours or maybe you know, maybe a day that an agency really needs to spend time in your Google Business Profile. There's not really a lot of maintenance things. I don't do any posts for my clients. I don't do anything else beyond that. It's really what we teach the clients. We tell them how to get reviews. Anything that's in the actual profile itself, I'll go in there and add our GeoHub for the website. We'll add the services and products. And that only takes about a day or two. And then I remove access from myself. There's no reasons why any agency should ever have to have full access. I've seen a lot of cases where, you know, agencies will hold a business hostage and say, I need to be the primary owner of this business. Like, they don't need to do that. They just need to add you as a manager. And a lot of times, if you can create a domain email for the agency saying, you know, marketing@abcplumbing.com, that's your best bet. Just a couple of things too. The agency, obviously we want higher rankings, which can ultimately lead to more leads and more phone calls. But at the end of the day, I care about that my clients are making money. If they're not making money, they can't keep paying me. So those are some things that I wanted to kind of go over. You know, when you're shopping for an agency, some things that they should look at. If you can talk to one of their clients, or at the most important thing, say, look at their agency website. You know, there's a lot of free tools out there that you can kind of check rankings and maybe do some searches for, you know, Seattle SEO. If they're not ranking on the first page, you probably want to stay away from them. So, and that's all I got for today.
Lovely. Couple of comments on some of those things. On when it comes to your showing progress or tracking, how are you showing like that little those, not saying, you know, those that grid porn, or like how are you showing clients that they're doing better in progress?
I only show it based on certain points. If they're saying, hey, so I live here in the Bay Area. If they're saying, hey, I'm getting most of my leads are coming from the North County in Contra Costa, I want to serve some clients in South County. That's when it's a good idea to maybe pull one of those rank trackers off the grid to take a look at where they're actually getting the most traffic. I also will even pull their CRM to see where the customers' addresses are located. And then maybe focus on doing a lot of my optimization points in those areas that they're not getting as much traffic. My communication with clients is always, hey, how are the leads been this week, or how the leads been this month?
Okay.
You know, are you getting phone calls? I don't send them reports about, look, we're ranking you number one. I've seen so many businesses that are ranking high that don't get leads. And at that point, it's like they're probably going to fire you. That's usually something wrong with their website. It's not converting. There's something going on with their Google business that's not popping out. You know, they may have, you know, a couple reviews, even though they're ranking. So there's a lot of things that you have to look at. The most important thing, in my opinion, is conversion. So it's really my conversations that I have is, you know, how had the phone calls been, how the leads been, are you seeing anything that's weird, you know, things like that. You know, a lot of times we'll put call tracking, you know, we'll use our own number so I can listen to the calls as well. I've owned several service companies. I still own a couple service companies, so I listen to all calls that I have. If my dispatchers or anyone answering my phones are kind of being very lenient on how they're answering, they're not closing the sale. Like, there's a lot of things that kind of come into this. Just because you're getting a phone call, you're getting a lead, if you know, you need to close that lead in any way you possibly can. And unfortunately, rankings aren't going to show what the ultimate goal is, and that is to make money. So,
Got it. You know, when it comes to pricing, you mentioned that you do, you know, month to month, and then, you know, you don't do contracts really. But there's one thing that I've seen to work too. It's kind of like I learned this from the Alex Hormozi strategy, where it's like, okay, you can do month to month, but you can, if they are willing to pay like 6 months ahead of time for like maybe a discount, definitely take that route, because you're getting that full lump sum ahead is more value that way. So you get kind of almost get that guarantee ish. I mean, like, is that something that you possibly would?
Yeah, sometimes we'll offer that, and sometimes too, you know, around tax season, sometimes people just want to clear some extra funds out for some write-offs and things like that. Maybe we'll offer something like that. Hey, you got 3 months left. You want to just pay things off, and you maybe give them a little bit of a deal there. But most of it's month to month. I don't hold people hostage. If you're not happy, then it's fine. You can go, you know, I'll sell your, you know, to your competitor. It's not a big deal.
We had a question on the topic of agencies. It's like, how did you sell your agency? Like, how do you sell an agency?
So mine actually sold to a friend of mine in Hawaii. He's a guy who's did SEO for quite a while. Him and I did a lot of lead generation together. He did extremely well in the rehab niche and payday loans. And then he also kind of got into doing some investments, but he was kind of retired at that point. He kind of just wanted something to do, and it was a good way. He was helping me out with some stuff, and so it was kind of a good way. But there are some brokers out there that will actually offer something where they will go out and find buyers for you. There's a lot of several directories where you can post your business for sale on as well.
Got it. Keith, anything to add on this topic? I know we chatted about it already a couple weeks ago, but
No, not really. I know we're all good.
all right, let's go. Keith is ready for his segment going on. Let's check it out. Let's see here. Let me pull up your we gotta pull this up. We gotta pull this up right here. All right, let's go.
La 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 Lambo's World. La 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 Lambo's World. Lambo likes conversions and SEO too. That's Lambo's World.
All right. Moving objects.
Da 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 da. Lambo's World. What I wanted to go over today, kids, something we actually had rehashed before, which is moving objects. And so I was out just searching Plumbers Dallas, had talked with a couple guys, they'd reach out to me, and I still see this. And we really need to try to understand the general challenges of, you know, when you have a human and we have our eyes, right, on the front of our face, if something goes scurrying past us, we're going to look at it. It's just common as a predatory instinct, right? It's even one of the cases why they say, why does a dog chase anything, right? Because that's what they do. They will herd things, they will chase things, they're pack animals. And the same thing can be said when you're out at a website and searching, and if you see things that are moving, especially with the human peripheral vision, it draws attention. And so the key is, when you want things to be drawn to the attention, is it drawing good attention? So for example, you scroll down this plumbing website and what's happening? We've got graphics down here in the bottom left-hand corner, right? Why are you, is this important that you're telling me that you're a proud sponsor of SMU? My toilet is clogged. Like, I have a problem. Are you open now? Are you 24 hours? You know, how can you really help me? So the focus is, what is the most imperative issue on your customer? And really, what do you want them to do? We look at here's Berkey's Plumbing AC on just the specific on their plumbing side. Man, we've got a lot of red going on here. And what would you like to see? You would love to see maybe something like this moving, right? Or a phone number moving, or it says get the facts and there's an arrow, and what? Like, what do you want me to do? There's opportunities to draw the eye, and just be aware of them. So here's Reeves. Great. We got the pop-up. What do? Fuck that. Close. Oh no! This is blurry. Are you shitting me? Like, stop it. What? No way. You just had a pop-up with a low-res image. Don't do that. Just be aware that things that are moving are going to draw people's eye. There's good use of arrows here. We even have some hover action. Oh, notice what's happening. We have movement here with this graphic. Your human eye is going to go here. Is that important? Yes, you do. You would like to know more about what customers are saying.
That's Keith when he was a baby, by the way.
Yeah.
In the toilet.
Oh, shit, not again. We've got the hero graphic. This is slightly better, where I can tell someone professionally has done this, because we have all the text is all left aligned. It's blacked out. And if you notice, most of the humans and most of the action is happening on the right-hand side. But son of a bitch, what's happening in the bottom left-hand corner? Oh, you're giving me pop-ups. Oh no, I scroll down and there's more motion. I got the BBB. I got a guy with a pipe wrench. Watch out. Is the graphics over here more important, or should my eye really be focused maybe on trust and the sales portion, right? So this can have conflict where you've got bright red, you've got moving objects, and it turns into a shit show. This one's nice. It's clean, straight up. What could happen here is you got a van. What if this van could come across the screen, right? Showing the, we can come to you quickly, right?
And a lot of those animations could be done with CSS, right? I think you can have an image come across.
It's a JavaScript typically. Jordan would have a little bit more experience on some of the customization, but it's just being careful again. Great, professional video, but are people really reading this, right? It's just hard. We don't have the smiling guy. Where's his face? Show the branding, show the character of who you are and who's coming to my house. This is just nothing but a big ego stroke. You, the owner, you might love it, but is it really helping you with a conversion? Let me reload this 1 second here, because notice what happened. This graphic turned. So it's things that's smart, but is this graphic on the call to action conflicting with the big exciting hero that's above? We go over to Ben Franklin. Very straightforward. If we scroll down, whoa, what happened here on the left-hand side? Zoop, book now, exactly. All the other data, they're just being really clean cut. If you hover over the buttons, you do get a little bit of action, but they're not overdoing it. Because why? They're focused on, you could be happy, I'm coming to your house, this is what you want. Simple, clean, nothing too overly flashy.
Oh,
all right, we got more graphic, we go down. I'm assuming that's a video. No, it's not a video. Oh, we got glorious pop-ups. This is all okay, right? It's not anything. Oh, now drawing my eye again down to the trust items. Again, just be careful. Anytime something moves, right? It's like, you know, a girl in cleavage. You're just going to get attention and be drawn away. So.
Oh, a guy in cleavage. Guy in cleavage. I get looks when I'm wearing a tank top. Never mind.
Yes.
All right. All right, guys. So, quick question. Like, I mean, if someone wants to learn JP, like on some of these simple animations, do you have any like resources? Is it simple CSS or JavaScript?
There's a lot. I mean, probably just YouTube. I mean, there's some courses out there. I can dig up some and drop it here next week. I'll drop it in the comments.
Do you think ChatGPT can push out some CSS code for?
It can a little bit. Yeah, it can a little bit. Some of it's going to be JavaScript, depending on how you have it.
Got it. All right. Let's get into our last segment of today.
Oh, let's burn it up, baby! Woo! Man, I'm definitely going to need safety goggles today because shit is going down. Oh my gosh. This is one of the worst things I've ever seen.
Oh no.
Holy shit.
Did someone submit should someone feel scared that they submitted their site in GBP?
I thought that this site was so bad that it was an affiliate site. Like it doesn't even seem real.
Wait, where are we at? We're looking at ChatGPT screen. Oh, wait, you're on mute, JP.
There we go. Sorry.
Oh, there you go. Oh, wait.
This was that plugin I was telling everyone about. So if you just type in the niche, and it gives me all of my pillar pages. So basically, your topical map for different content ideas.
Okay.
And then I can tell it to keep going. Yeah, give me the next 20. So basically what it'll do is it'll keep building this out. So you'll have your main topical, which is surveillance cameras, and then you have your subtopics, and you have subtopics underneath each one of these. So just kind of cool tool if you wanted to get some different content ideas and start building out your map for content.
The website, right? And this is particularly for our roasting site today.
Yep. So pretty cool little tool. Silicon Valley Surveillance.com, video surveillance security systems in Silicon Valley. So branding still definitely, I'm assuming their main term is going to be for surveillance systems.
Surveillance camera or security.
Yeah, definitely security camera is how most people think, right?
Yeah.
And a lot of times they're going to end up at even Best Buy or Home Depot or pardon me, even like a Costco, just searching for cameras. But then when it comes to the ease of installation and if you need any other fancy type monitoring.
Yeah. So just even typing in surveillance camera in Silicon Valley, I mean, they are showing up organically. Because of the nature of what this is and how they've nailed down their brand, and if I type this in, they should be showing up in the pack here.
Yeah.
As being the only company, and they're not.
What is their brand? Maybe if you search the brand, I wonder if you search the brand, would they show up on the
Silicon Valley Surveillance is
so they're way down here.
Yeah, you scroll down
I scroll down pretty far.
And that's for the brand, right? That's
just for I typed in surveillance camera in Silicon Valley. They should be number one, like without hardly doing anything.
Why is that?
A lot of it's going to have to come down to the fact of just a lot of the content and what's being done on the page. I'm assuming they're using.
You said that they should be number one. Why should
they should be number one? Because they have their main brand is called Silicon Valley Surveillance.
Okay.
And that's the main keyword that we put in here.
Well, what happens if you put Silicon Valley Surveillance in front of it? I mean, would that matter if you put Silicon Valley in front of surveillance?
It'll be slightly different. I can take a look. So
it's definitely a red flag, right? Because you're basically saying, if that is the name of your company, you should be found. The website's being found, but you're not getting the respect on the GBP because your GBP is being keyword stuffed. So you probably, you may not have enough of your brand being published as citations out at different places and different things.
Yeah, it looks
so
like
type in one of their other main terms, and they're still not even found. Even though they have that in their brand name, they're still not even being found.
But how about the GBP though? Number? How about if you go to the GBP, if you go back to the regular search and put the exact same query? I think that the exact same query that you just put with that map, I wonder if it'll pop up the GBP.
They just a great indicator.
Well, I'm in Walnut Creek.
Their phone number does not appear, that's on their website, does not appear to be published anywhere.
Oh.
So there's confusion as to who belongs to this phone number, right?
So that phone number should be on their site and it's not.
It's on the site.
Oh, it is.
It's not on. There's no citations that I can where the fuck is their Yelp? Where's the Apple Maps? Come on, give me. Are you a real business? Then you need a real address, real information.
So there goes they're number 2 on that one. It says places.
Yeah, and based upon that search phrase, they should be number 1. But it's always going to be a little bit tougher because the fact that these guys are showing the address too.
And they're not.
There's just no citations of that Google is that Google is connecting the dots.
And that's one of the quickest way to look at it, right, Keith? By just searching the phone number.
Phone number, because you're going to say, who does this phone number belong to? And I'm not gonna, but you can go see what I see, which is nothing.
So this is their competitor in the area, right?
No Yelp,
It's
no
them.
Apple, no nothing.
This is their competitor.
Oh, that's a competitor. Hold on, let me
Yeah.
get their phone number. I thought I grabbed their number. Maybe not.
Who does belong to? Oh yeah, there's no. Their website shows up. That's about it.
Yeah. And then Google assuming, we have records of this phone number being associated with these people, right?
So that's
Whether
nothing.
that cannot be true, it's hard to say, right?
Yeah.
But that's where
It's probably
you
using his
need that
personal cell
corrected.
phone
You have to have some citations. I know we kind of poo-poo citations from a ranking point of view, but how is Google going to trust who you are if you don't have something on Apple Maps or Bing or just like the basic stuff?
Yeah, citations help validate your brand both in Google and in AI, but it's not necessarily there to help you rank. But I still recommend building them out.
And there's pretty much just the main ones, right? And you said all you need is pretty much the top.
I mean, Yext is one of the ones, is the main service I use. They get in there very fast, and it gets on to all the major directories: Better Business Bureau, Yelp, Apple Maps, Yellow Pages, things like that.
And isn't like was it Newstar? Newstar kind of syndicates. Is it?
So Newstar will syndicate too. So they're basically will syndicate in there. It's just a longer process.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Because a lot of these other directories, the publishers basically purchase that information from Newstar, and then Newstar pushes that out. But that time period can be, several months.
You know what I've been seeing when it comes to citations? Like when people offer like over 400 citations, they're not necessarily all like directories. They're like, I think they're just putting them on like.
Yeah, they're using something called Google My Maps. So that's another thing too. Be careful when people say, "I'm going to get you 2,000 citations." It's bullshit. Basically, Google has a service called My Maps, and they're just creating.
The pins? You mean like the circle pins, the pretty graphics?
Yeah, it looks like Simon Says.
Ooh, look how pretty that is.
Yeah, I'm trying to find one.
Can you make a smiley face? Could you make a design?
Yeah, they look like this. It looks like Simon Says. You guys remember?
Oh, that's cute.
Anyone who's promoting this service is stay away from. It's all bullshit.
Putting pins like all over the place.
Yeah. It's never worked, never has worked, will never work. So
why do people do it then?
Because they think it's something
because
cool.
The suckers, they lie to get the sale.
All right. I mean, any last more comments? We're at time.
It really comes down to branding. If you have a client base, you need to get reviews.
So reviews, definitely reviews. More branding.
On page is just terrible. We don't really know who the real company is, who the owners are. It just feels so fake.
The branding's more kind of like one of the bigger issues here for them, at least getting more. Yeah.
Yeah. But that's all I have. We do have an announcement as well.
Yeah.
We actually have a webinar coming up. It's free for everybody.
Yeah.
All you have to do is, I did post it in the chat here.
You
just go to bit.ly/GBP-playbook, and it's a webinar sign up. It is 100% free. Just sign up with your name and email. It's going to be on Thursday, May 8th at 10 a.m. Pacific Central Time. And Keith and I are going to be going over an exact playbook of how to rank on Google Maps. We're going to give you some different case studies and some different strategies.
One after another.
There you go. There you go.
So everyone is invited. We do have a cap. You definitely want to register in early. We do have a cap of about 150 people, so you want to register and jump in as be the first one in there.
Yeah, it's sad that we can't.
It's a Zoom. Is it a Zoom?
They have a capacity.
No, it's not Zoom. It's a go-to webinar.
A go-to webinar. So the link is in the live chat. Check it out there.
And feel free to comment down below. We'll certainly respond and follow up with you and send you a personal message. And definitely, if you like what we're up to, what we're doing, give us a like, share us, and subscribe. And if you're feeling roasty toasty, drop us a note in any websites you want us to take a closer look at on the map side. We'll be happy to help you out.
There you go. And if you want more free things, I still have a few more books with the SEO in 2025 book. If you want a copy, shoot me an email at dre@seo.video, dre@seo.video with your address if you are in the United States, and I'll send you a free copy of this really, really thick book. I can't send it out of the United States because it costs like $60 to ship this out to like UK. I'm like, you can go buy one yourself. But all right, guys, I'll see you guys on Friday. You can catch me at the SEO Video Show, 12 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. Till next time, we'll see you guys next week. Peace out, guys. All right.
See ya.
Yeah, let's see here.
Man, I really.
Let's see.
This always tells you how busy I am.
Hey, GBP roast, GBP roast. Sorry, you in danger. Right now, I gotta flame you. This is GBP roast, GBP roast. On your Google business profile, it's about to go down. We roasting and reacting. We ain't come to play. 20 years in SEO. JP, Lambo, and Dre bringing facts and guests. Oh yeah, we bring the dopeness. Welcome to the show. Hope your profile don't get roasted.